This program has been brought to you thanks to the generous contributions of our patrons on Patreon. Your patronage is greatly appreciated. And for more content like this, be sure to check out the Modern Alchemist channel on Patreon.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
All right, so here we are, Alchemy Lab, the Kybalion, Chapter 2. You know, this chapter is of extraordinary significance. It is in this particular chapter that the authors present for us, the readers, what is to be expected. What is the essential outcome of reading this small text? What does this text mean? You know, it's interesting. The second chapter is often used across the board, regardless of whether it's sacred scripture or if it is something others might consider sacred, like the fictional work of J.R.R. Tolkien, right? His second chapter in Lord of the Rings essentially sets the reader up so that the reader knows this is what this book is about, this is what the ring is about, these are what hobbits are about. You know? And you essentially get an idea of this is the world. Well, similarly in Genesis. Genesis is the second chapter. Man and woman are formally introduced, given names. The protagonists of our origin story are presented for us to scrutinize. And it leads us into the succeeding chapters. So in this chapter 2, we are introduced to 7 keys. And these keys are, in their most rudimentary form, they introduce us to concepts which then the reader must unpack on their own. And that's exactly what we're going to do here, is I'm going to help you begin unpacking some of these ideas so that they make operational sense to you. It's one thing to just present the idea to you academically. It's another to say, okay, this is what I do with this idea. And that's what I want to do. I want to share that with you. This is then a component of the Saturn key. And let's just take a moment here and talk about the Saturn key and what these keys represent, because they are essential elements to what I used to comprise my key. Other aspects include the sciences, as I've been sharing with you, so that these lectures on the electric universe, these lectures on creativity, each of these are then applied to my consciousness as a component of that construction, as a component of my key. Now, the thing that this key unlocks is the vault of thinking. It's the world soul. It's the Akashic record. And if you want to know what that record is, the record is the totality of consciousness that exists and has existed and will exist, and in other words, has yet to exist on this world. And the impact of greater consciousness upon this world, meaning that just as we are affected electromagnetically by the conditions of our environment, so too our world is affected by its environment, and this scales upward. So we're a part of all of that. We're a part of all of that energy, all of that consciousness, and all of that is called by this text the all. And understanding that connection, understanding that it is real, that just a regular guy like me on my own has found access to it, and as a result it has been extraordinarily transformative to my life, to the point where I would like to share as I am doing. So this is just a fragment of all that is offered by understanding and unpacking this text. So with that, I hope I've got you like just totally stoked. I hope you're just like, yes, I'm ready. Let's get ready, because this should excite you. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's begin. The Kybalion, Chapter 2, The 7 Hermetic Principles. The principles of truth are 7. He who knows these understandingly possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. The Kybalion. Before pressing too far forward, I think that it's important to take a moment and discuss what a temple is. A temple is a temporary residence, and you'll notice that the word temporary and temple both share the same root, and it deals with time, like tempo, okay? It deals with rhythm. They share temporary residence with what is termed as spirit. It is the unknowable, the undefinable, that maintains residence and has communion with all things. A temple is a building or a structure or an edifice or a thing, which would then include people and bodies, wherein work is conducted. The work can be considered spiritual work, because as long as the temple is occupied with the Spirit, then the work conducted is of the Spirit. So as we're continuing through this text, keep this in mind. The temple of which we are speaking is in fact the Akashic record. It is the storehouse of consciousness from which we may draw freely. And you are able to draw freely because it is part of you and you are part of it. These tools allow you to reconcile any incongruities of consciousness that prohibit you from moving forward with this experience. By aligning your thinking and recognizing where you have opportunities for growth, you will be able then to affect the necessary changes as long as you're working through these principles.